she better be glad we're at this event because I don't want to act a fool. But don't let me see her somewhere else as it's on. But even then, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, because
That's
that
not
still
cool.
follow through.
Yeah,
Like it still follows to,
exactly.
especially with now with the social media,
Yeah, right.
everybody going live, in places. So a lot of your behavior can be recorded.
We face our problems every day. It seems they'll never fade away. The world may bring us down. Tonight we're gonna turn it around. So let's put it all on the table. Talk about it if you're willing and able. Life, love, and insecurities, and a laugh or two. Come and take a seat. So bring your concerns to us. Together we can discuss what's on your mind. No matter what you go through, just know we'll be here for you every time. Let's talk about it. Blind table talk. Let's talk about it. Blind table talk. We gotta be about it. Go ahead and walk the walk. So let's talk about it. Blind table talk. Let's talk about it.
Welcome back to Blind Table Talk. I am your host, Fleekss, also known as Security of the Community. What's up, y'all?
Yes, welcome back, everyone. I am Saida Victoria, aka Sassy Sai, your blind butterfly. So happy
Welcome
y'all
back.
joined us.
Welcome back to the table. Yes, indeed. Another one for the books, girl.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I'm
you
so
already.
excited.
For sure, for sure. We got a good one for y'all tonight. But before we get into this thing, just gotta drop a couple of PSAs, right?
Absolutely. www.blindtabletalk.com. Please visit our website, sign up for our email list.
Also, you can check us out on our YouTube channel at Blind Table Talk. Check out our interviews, our sassy seats, and the security booth as well.
So many coming up. We got so many good ones coming for y'all. So stay tuned,
Real
please.
talk, real talk. We got some goodies, some
Please.
goodies.
Yes. And I just also want to make sure that people are liking our Facebook page, our business page on Facebook. That's Blind Table Talk, as well as joining our group as well. We are revamping a few things and so making a few changes, some improvements. So just stay tuned for that as well. But please visit us on Facebook.
Yes, yes, indeed. Come check us out, y'all.
All right. Well, we have a great interview this week. And you know what? You were gone because you were at your tournament, which,
Yeah, that good old beat ball, baby.
yes. How did that
Man,
go?
Man, it was a trip. I felt like I was on a whole sports tour for real because I went from one weekend in Oklahoma to the next weekend following in Indiana, and then the weekend after that was in Chicago, what really Bolingbrook that is. But unfortunately, the last tournament I was on the IR list because I was under concussion protocol from running too hard and banging my face on the ground through one of our audio bases. And yeah, that was an ordeal. But I'm back. Back in attack, full in the Mac, doing good, all that good jazz. And so yeah, I sure hate that
That's
I wasn't
crazy.
able to be here and all that good, and hear about
Yeah.
the I don't really want to say it. Can I
Yeah.
say it right now? Like I'm not supposed to say it
Yes.
right now.
Well,
But
they're here all about it. But
yeah, yeah.
um,
Hey, just check it out, man. It's some
we
good.
did
It's some
have
good going.
Boss Lady sit in for you,
Good
Christina.
old
So
boss lady,
she,
baby. If
she
anybody could replace me, definitely boss lady
so
for
she,
sure.
well, she doesn't want to replace you. We have to pull her teeth to come to be on air sometimes because
I might
she's,
have to fake. I think
yeah, I
we
know, right?
need to call her in.
So
No,
I know. But she did, and we sat down with the folks from HapWare, and
HapWare.
they
Nice.
have came up with and designed a wonderful device, and it is amazing what it can do, right?
Well, they're gonna get to
Um,
check that out on this interview,
yes,
huh?
they sure are. And I'll
Yes,
just save
indeed.
it, but we'll talk about it a little bit more. But there's some things that, you probably wouldn't believe. So just stay tuned for that. Is
Hey.
Jack with HapWare, and he's going to be sharing all about the new, game-changing device that they have.
Awesome, awesome. Look forward to it. Hey, y'all already know. Let's get with it.
Blind table talk, yeah.
All right, it is time for our real talk. Let's get into our BVI discussion. Hey, what we got on the
Hmm.
table, Sassy?
There's just a lot going on as far as how society perceives us, and I'm not talking blind talk right now,
Uh-oh.
right?
Uh-oh.
Um, it's just about our character and reputation and who we are. How much do you value your reputation or your character or what people think about you? Out
Oh,
looking in, right? Is
when?
does it make a difference?
When? I'm at
Ah,
a I'm at a I'm at a stage in my life now. Yeah. Reputation, all that matters.
yeah.
I
And
have
we're not talking high school reputation of being a tough guy, a cool kid. It's a different type of reputation when
no,
you get
because
to a
in
certain
my
age.
right, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, and I wasn't even thinking that when I say when. My early 20s,
Yeah.
from 19 to shoot all of my 20s, honestly. It's I was a late bloomer. I did
Yeah.
not care
Mm-hmm.
what you thought about me. That's just where kind of my
Yes.
upbringing and where I came from. Like it don't matter. Like I'm not, especially I'm blind now. I was blind. I mean, I am blind and was
Yeah.
blind then, and so it really didn't matter because I'm not seeing any of your facial expressions. I know I'm
Yeah.
not going to see you again. So you can think whatever you thought.
Right.
You don't really know me. So
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
time, and I didn't have that a lot to lose.
That's
So,
and that's what it is. The
I really
difference
didn't care.
is that what and that was the next question that was asked in that discussion was, does having to lose something to lose make a difference in how you
Oh yeah,
care?
for sure. I mean, even still, because like gaining things by making some bad decisions and stuff, like it's
Yeah.
still that was
Yeah.
losing some things. So it's like decisions
Yeah.
were changing even then. It's like, okay, you got to do something different.
Yeah.
You're trying to do this, but this is following you. Like
Right.
you
Yeah.
gotta
Switch
change
it
that
up.
because that's no longer what the game plan is. That's you can't do this any longer. So
Yeah.
it's like now, yeah, for sure. Reputation, oh man, like I didn't really believe that I can get to this point.
Yeah. Where you
It
would care, would it mattered so much, right?
right where I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh no, 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 I'm not even going to even go over there because I know what time they on right now, and
Yeah.
I can't be on that time right now. Like I got, what I'm saying, like it's not right now,
Well, that's funny that you say that because, looking back, like even, and this was obviously my pre-blind, like I didn't, my reputation, and it was more so. I worried about what people thought about me in different ways, but it was more so like I don't want nobody thinking I'm a punk or so I'm gonna act a fool and I used to do stupid stuff and fights and things, that were just so embarrassing. I don't even like thinking about half the stuff that I've done that had me out there looking like a fool,
Yeah,
fighting
yeah,
over men, you know,
yeah.
guys that were cheating on me and I'm sitting here at the club fighting their girlfriends and or
At least
women
you was
over
fighting over like some love and everything. I'm
no,
fighting over a turf a neighborhood that we don't even own.
right. Yeah. So,
Fighting
but
for,
I
colors
didn't
that don't even
care.
matter.
I
So I
didn't
hear
think
you.
about that. I didn't, think about that. My reputation, what was important to me, which in this factor it still is, but I'm not a liar. I'm gonna tell it like it is. And I want people, if you can't say anything about me, one thing you can say is that, oh no, she's gonna tell you the truth. She's not gonna lie
Yeah,
about it. That was
yeah,
important to me. Stuff like that, right? But that was
yeah.
so that's it was for different reasons, right?
Hmm.
As I got older and have more on the line, it's even more important to me. And I think that for me came with having something to lose when you have, and it's not even money or but
No.
it's respect.
Yeah, respect,
And
value,
that yes,
you
and
know,
I don't
yeah.
want people to lose respect for me, and if they
Mm-mm.
do, it's going to be a really good reason, not for some stupid stuff that I've said or done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Because I
I
mean,
think
everybody
that does.
doesn't, we just don't fit everybody
No, I'm
square or
not.
circle, and
No,
that's okay.
no, it
However,
is. Yep.
still at the end of the day, you can say like, oh, he's an outstanding character, or like
Yeah.
he's real, or he doesn't, or she doesn't lie, she doesn't fake
Yeah.
really, like,
Right. Yeah. And
the
that's
energy is
yeah.
what it is, like,
Yeah. Yeah. And that, so that matters to me in a sense of because it's integrity, right? And
yeah.
especially with being a leader in this, in our community and stuff like that. So it does matter. I would not want people saying, oh, she's a thief. She steals, she lies, you know. Heck,
Or
I don't even want the reputation of, just anything negative.
promiscuous, like
Yeah,
just being
exactly.
promiscuous, or just
Yeah. Just
outside like that,
right.
just out there, not
Yes.
respecting myself or respecting,
Yes,
other
all of that
people's
matters.
value.
Yeah,
All that really matters. Like, even with it, like conducting business, like,
absolutely.
oh, he's just a fast talker, or
Yeah, right. Oh, she just ran her. She'll sell you
yeah, just running
sand at the
game.
beach.
Yeah,
She'll
like,
try to sell.
nah,
Yeah,
nah, all that
right.
matters now. Like
It,
that
yes.
really matters now. Like, for
Yeah.
real. It didn't
And
it
then
didn't before, and that was
it
the crazy
didn't
thing. Like,
exactly.
what I'm running by you, I'm running through you,
Yeah,
I'm jumping
right.
over you. Like,
Yeah,
it didn't matter, but
yeah,
growth,
yeah.
maturity, like life
Yeah, that
experiences,
is, it's
for sure.
exactly what it
And
is.
then
And
it's
so,
something to lose once you develop to something more, and
yeah,
then you gain from that, you achieve. It's like,
right.
okay, why conduct this way when I know it's not going to be conducive for what I have going on right here.
Right. Acting full. So exactly. So as much as I lose my temper or, let's just face it, there's people that, you sometimes there's people you want to, just slap the mess out of, or, they
Mhm.
say something crazy and you want to just pop off at the mouth. But now it's like, okay, hold on. No, not that I'm a punk or I'm afraid of you or any of that, but now I have to think about, how this is going to reflect on me for other people that make a difference or matter to what I'm
Real
doing.
talk, real talk. And see, and for for the other ones who can relate to, oh, I'm just trying to be cool.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to be with the
yeah,
trend,
yeah,
that don't matter.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
cool is having the discipline, having the respect.
yeah,
Like, cool
exactly.
is knowing
How to walk
when
away.
and where.
Yeah, right,
Cool is
exactly.
actually, holding your cards to your chest, and not really just, you know,
That's
showing all of your
right.
recreationals or whatever.
But what's funny? I've even made comments like, with people that, this, oh, she better be glad we're at this event because I don't want to act a fool. But don't let me see her somewhere else as it's on. But even then, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, because
That's
that
not
still
cool.
follow through.
Yeah,
Like, it still follows to,
exactly.
especially with now with the social media,
Yeah, right.
everybody going live, in places. So a lot of your behavior can be recorded, and
And right.
a
And
lot of
yeah,
words you say can be recorded. I mean, just look at the council culture, just with people saying certain things about different groups
yeah,
and things like that, like that
yeah, they get
reputation,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like, especially these days, like it
yeah.
matters, like it really matters. So,
Well,
somebody
and
seeing
that's
you
what it
out there just
is.
cutting them, just like, okay, I'm not about to associate
And then
with
here
them.
I go, even for, BPN, here I go, right now I'm at an event and I'm sitting here and I'm, um, educating and trying to empower. And they're like, ain't this the one that was out there in the streets beating, fighting and cussing or drinking or, all
Right.
that stuff that now matters
Acting
because
like Double J from Underdog.
yeah,
Like, what?
yeah.
I thought I just
Yeah.
like, nah.
Or even worse, she was the one, wasn't she just pissy drunk in the club last night doing
Right.
all of that
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my personal business and what I do, but my personal life still reflects my professional life. I'm
And I
sorry.
get it, people, like, time to have fun, let your hair down, but
Yeah, you
even
still
still,
got to be
like,
careful
you still have to be careful,
because they
It-
still that stuff like follows you, like you said.
Yeah,
What you do behind closed doors, unless you're by yourself, it has potential to get in front of those closed doors.
man, like real bad. Like I used to not think so until I like got around other people in the community, and then they would
Yeah,
like kind of tell me
yeah,
a story that kind of met up with. I'm like, wait, how you know you?
yeah.
All right, so all this got over here, and I'm all the way here. Okay, has to be careful with what was going on.
And that whole thing about, well, I don't care what people think about me. I don't care. You know,
You ain't trying to do business, or you really
right.
ain't trying to grow. You
Exactly.
really not doing nothing.
And
That's my thought process. Because at
it
the time, I
is
really wasn't doing anything.
out.
I thought I was, but I
Me,
wasn't doing
and
anything.
that's the point. Back then, I was the first one to say that I don't care what they think. They could think what they want. I know what it is, but that's not the way to do it. I'm sorry. You have to care. It doesn't mean you're fake. It doesn't mean you're phony. It means that you care about your reputation in
Real
a
talk.
community that you are trying to thrive.
Yeah,
Very
that's all it
important.
is.
So, all right. So we do value our reputation. That's the outcome
New
of this
chapter,
discussion.
new
Yeah.
values. We value the
Yes.
reputation.
Yes. So,
For sure, for sure, for sure.
all right. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I like this. I like this. Let's keep this
okay.
rolling.
All
Yeah, yeah,
right. All
yeah.
right. So let's, okay. Well, switch it up because, we like to throw in a relationship discussion in our conversations, right?
Uh-oh.
So, this is just one. And this is kind of, it's not even a big deal, but it is a big deal, kind of. So,
Mm.
they're together for 2 months. I'm sorry, what did I say? 2 months. They're together for 8 months. Okay.
All right.
It's
That's
a
good
long
time.
distance relationship.
Mm.
The boyfriend, I guess, is planning a vacation, his first vacation, and it is with a female friend. And the girlfriend is kind of hurt that his first vacation is with another woman and not her. And instead of him inviting her to come, because it was the female friend's idea and, it was kind of their thing. So his girlfriend was not invited. And so he tells her, well, it's okay. We can just take another vacation later. We'll take another one, just me and you. But yet he
Um,
still goes on the vacation. Thoughts?
wow. I'm sorry, boo boo. Yeah, as you should. Because I mean, all right, I'm gonna go ahead
You
and
have
drop
to
it on.
flip it. You have to flip it as if you were the outside. So it was you
Well,
are the boyfriend and your girlfriend is going on a vacation for the first time with her male friend. Remember,
I mean, there's circumstances in everything. There's
here you
always
go
like
with that.
a
Here
gray
you go.
area. However, like, did we not invite?
Yeah, no, I told
Like,
you she's not invited because this was the friend had already planned it for just them and
is the
oh
friend paying
to
for
her
herself?
family. They're going to her family. He's going to meet her family and be around all her family and be meet her family and stuff. The friend's family. I mean, yeah,
And are they really just friends like this? Like, has she met this friend? Because
nope, she's never met her.
like I get it because we do have friends like that are strictly platonic, no matter the gender. But in
You don't want to
any,
say it. Say it.
I mean, but he around the family, so I don't think he really just.
No, that's even worse. So, okay, since you're beating around the bush, I'm gonna tell my thoughts on it. Okay.
What you trying to say?
Because no, hell no, I would be very upset. And here's the thing, it ain't even about the fact that, I'm jealous or I think was number one, I think you guys, there must be more to it, number one, because why wasn't I invited? Or for whatever reason. But this is your
You
first
don't know her
vacation.
family.
It don't matter. This is your first vacation, right?
Who paying
So
for it?
I don't know. Does it matter? If I'm
It kind of
if
does because if she paying for it, she's like, hey man,
and
you ain't
that's
betting
why
out.
and that's
Like,
why it's okay. And here's the thing, because we all have informed choices, that we can make, right? And he does have the right to do that. He does have the right to go on that vacation with his friend, as he should. He can make that choice. But for me, if you are my man and you make that choice, you will no longer be my man. Sorry. Call me what you want. I don't care. I'm
I
not.
hear you because, like, honestly, if I flip it and my girl, her dude, like her partner,
Yeah.
I'm still going on this trip. Like,
Yeah. Good. Go.
you, you know what I'm talking about?
I,
Or
yeah.
yeah,
And you have the
yeah.
right to
You
do
know
that.
what? Actually, and you know what? You can't control anyone. So
You
you're right.
cannot.
Yeah. These days, I'm not gonna, yeah, because that's kind of hard to deal with. I mean, I guess you're supposed to trust the person,
It's not about
but
trust for me. That's the
that's
thing. I
just
don't
a
even
weird
care.
situation though, because it's
It
like it's your
is.
first vacation.
And you're going with somebody else.
Like, shoot, why we can't go? We get a hotel and we just go see our family. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, we can make it our yeah, there's so many things that could be now whatever the actual but for me it's only 8 months anyways.
Right. And then
We
that's
ain't deep
why,
in.
hey,
You go
you could
with your
trust the
friend.
dudes.
Yeah, exactly. You go with your
Cause
friend. I'm good.
y'all might be doing some
I
undercover. You
you know,
know, you just never
I'm
know.
good. So listeners, chime in.
Are we wrong?
I know, right?
Like,
I
'cause
probably am, but
I know it's a male female friendship, platonic
I don't
relationships
care.
out there. You know, where they're really just that bonding like that, and it's almost a brother sister thing. However, like we
It's the
said,
prince.
you
What
have
is
a
it?
significant, you got a girlfriend at the time or
It's the
boyfriend.
principalities for me.
Man, it is a
And
principle on it.
so
But
you
it
know what? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong and I don't care and I'll stand on being wrong, but I do have a choice to end that relationship. And I'm not even going to say, "Oh, he's good in so many other things, but he did this," because I'm never going to forget this.
But
I'm
then
never
how
going to
would
forget that.
you never know, So it's like in my mind, I'm almost like, nah, go ahead, go. Because I wanna see what's the outcome.
Yeah,
What we
and the
doing with
outcome
this?
could also be, it can damage it. I'm just not about to stress on, but maybe again,
Nothing never
maybe
could even come from it. I don't know, y'all.
the fact that well, it is for me, if you because I'm telling you how upset and hurt and how that makes me feel, and you are still choosing to go,
Disregarding, yeah.
yes, and you're still
It's like
choosing
neglecting
you
the
you
feelings here.
and I'm just, what, our listeners probably think I'm a hot mess, but basically you chose her over me, and I don't
How
like it.
dare you choose
How
another
dare
person
you?
over Sassy? That is
Yeah.
not happening. It's not happening. Hey,
You chose
you on
her over
Sassy
me.
time. You
Yes,
better
and I just and I that
you
those are
better come
things
here. They go
that
there.
I can't get over. Like I
And
wouldn't be able to get over
it's
that.
long distance. Like that's another thing. It's a long
Yeah.
distance relationship. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm
like
sorry. I don't know, but
you're not
I'm
really seeing this person on an everyday basis. So now and that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Cause it's like it really is sometimes friendship like that. Like, oh, they took me in, like I didn't have no people, so they really
I don't care.
cool.
I
But
don't care.
I hear what you're saying as from the woman perspective as well. And even from a male perspective, like you got to be strong minded to kind of be like, all right, baby, go ahead, just
Get
hit me up.
right? No, exactly. And I don't know too many men that are just going to be okay with that. I'm sorry. It's
Like
not even
you
and it's
going
not
to go
even
fly to South
weak-minded.
America with Tyrone, and
Yeah.
you gonna meet his family because they all Spanish. Like,
Yeah.
what bungalow you
Exactly.
staying? Y'all staying in the
Yeah,
same?
right. No,
Like,
I'm sorry. And then I just feel like so many things can come from that afterwards that's going to damage this relationship. And for
listen
me,
here, you're
it's
gonna
maybe
call me every night. Matter of
no,
fact,
you're not.
we're
I
gonna
don't want
FaceTime.
no, you're not. You ain't calling me at all. Because if you go, I'm good.
Look, like
I'm
I'm
not
meeting
dealing
your
with it.
ass. Like you
Yeah.
getting blocked. Like
I no for real because again it's just 8 months, and even you could be great, but to me that loyalty that test you failed, and I can't get past that. I'm sorry,
mm,
and the loyalty for me is being loyal to my feelings over anybody else's. Oh my God, I
yeah.
sound so terrible, don't I? Listeners, don't come for me. I'm sorry.
That's
This
sassy, baby. Yeah.
this is why, you know what I'm saying? This is why I need to stay single and just do me. I'm not that bad though, right? You could vouch for that. I wasn't that
Yeah,
bad.
nah,
But
not at
I'm just
all.
saying this is why
She don't play that up.
I this is why I'm happy to be single and not have to deal with stuff like that because that's just those are things that can trickle to a whole bunch of other things and but please, I'm not dealing with that.
To say,
Mm-mm.
yeah, not at this stage.
Mm-mm-mm.
Mm-mm,
Mm-mm. Exactly.
mm-mm,
So, but listeners, please chime in on that because, and you can tell me I'm crazy, y'all. I don't, my feeling, I have tough skin. It will not hurt my feelings. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You can tell me I'm wrong, but I could just tell you now, I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm just going to be wrong.
real
But
talk.
just let us know your thoughts. I would like to know if any of you would be okay with that, honestly,
Yeah, that's what
right?
I want to know. I want to see how many people are actually okay with this.
Right, exactly. So, all right. Okay, so you ready to jump into our interview?
Time to get to it, man. Hey,
Yes.
I can't wait for
So,
y'all to hear about this wonderful device that's been created here and everything that
ally,
has going on.
ally. Sorry, ally.
The
That's
Ally,
yes,
the
ally
Ally,
device. Sorry,
the
y'all.
Ally
I
device
just,
with
I couldn't.
HapWare.
Yes, I couldn't HapWare.
HapWare.
I'm just gonna let y'all know I couldn't remember the name of the dang device earlier, and so it just popped in my head.
Here we
But didn't
are.
and Ally, and it's a device that you put on your wrist. And anyways, I'm not gonna tell y'all about it. You can listen to it
Hey,
in the
listen to the
interview. But
interview. Let's get with it.
Blind table talk, yeah.
hey, y'all! Thank y'all so much for coming back to the table with us. We have a very special guest for you tonight. But first, I want to all to say hello to Miss Christina because she is here at the table with me tonight. Christina, say hello.
Hey, everybody.
And we have with us tonight Mr. Jack Walters. He is the CEO and co founder of HapWare, and he is going to be sharing a great product that they have for the BVI community. Welcome to the table, Jack.
Hello, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you are here and have this product, and I just cannot wait for our listeners to
I
hear
know I'm
all
so
about it.
excited to see how it works and oh my
Um,
gosh, yes.
So why don't we start though, Jack, a little bit about the company and the foundation of it and where it got started. Can you tell us a little bit about that before we go into our product?
Yes, absolutely. It's great to be here. HapWare was actually started from a federal research grant. So while I was in school at Colorado School of Mines, the federal government had this research grant about haptic technology. And haptic technology is essentially like the sense of touch and tactile feedback.
Mm,
And they came to us and said, "Hey, we want you guys to build something with haptic technology." And us students were brand new to haptics and didn't know exactly what it was. So it started the process of doing research. And while we were doing research and learning about haptics, oh, it's the thing in your phone when it vibrates, or if you play video games, it's that vibration feeling. But it's also things like compression and the sense of touch. And all of
mhm,
us were really passionate about making impact with our engineering degrees and our tech background. And the person that was mentoring the federal research grant was part of the BVI community. And he's also our co founder, Brian Duarte. So we went out and we started researching haptics and we wanted to do something with impact. So we started talking to people with just disabilities and also seeing, interacting with Brian, who's part of the BVI community. We just talked about how we could make technology that was impactful. So we went out and started doing a bunch of interviews. We talked to people of all sorts of disabilities, people that were blind, people that were deafblind, people that were neurodiverse, whatever it was. We just wanted to hear them and talk to them about what a day in the life looks like. And
mhm,
we'd hear a lot of interesting things, like people saying, "Hey, I want a description of what people are doing." Or, if I'm walking home from the grocery store, I want to know if someone's to my right or to my left. And people that were blind would talk about that, they might not recognize visual cues. So from
mhm,
all that, problem discovery, talking to people in the blind and low vision community, and then learning about this really cool cutting edge technology of haptics, we learned that there's a lot of communication barriers for not for visual cues, and that nonverbal communication is just not accessible for people that might have low vision or blindness. So what we went out to do is try to bridge that communication gap and give all that nonverbal and the visual cues in real time. And that
mhm,
is what ALeye is. So ALeye is a wearable technology that provides people with real-time access to all those nonverbal cues. So I'm talking to things about emotions, facial expressions, hand gestures, body language, you know, things like, is someone walking up to you or walking away, going for a handshake, waving? Are they showing you that they're agitated, smiling, frowning? Are they nodding or shaking their heads, have their arms crossed? All those nonverbal cues, we read those with a pair of glasses that has an integrated camera, and then we communicate it in real time, so less than 1 second, to the sense of touch using haptic tactile feedback on the wrist, like a smartwatch kind of wristband. And each different nonverbal cue has its own corresponding and intuitive haptic feedback. So you can imagine the detection occurs, like the camera sees, you know, the nonverbal cue, let's say smiling. And then from there, it will play what, like a happy smiling sensation on your wrist in real time so that you get that information right when it happens.
Wow.
Awesome.
Okay, first, when we're saying haptic, are we, because I know on our phones, on the iPhones, there's like that haptic thing. Is that the same thing we're talking about that's on the iPhones, the
Yeah.
haptic? Okay, that's what that
Yeah.
is.
So it's essentially what we say, like when we say intuitive haptic feedback,
Mm-hmm.
that when you feel it on your wrist, you know that that haptic sensation is correlated to one of those nonverbal cues. Like it feels like a happy sensation, or it might feel like a handshake sensation, or some like a, or someone nodding or shaking their head. And you know,
Wow.
so we try to make the haptics kind of as intuitive as possible, so that it takes very minimal training to use. And you know, from our testing, actually, we learned that the first time people put on ALeye, wear the wristband, receive a cue, they can, with no training, they can get about half of them right with no training. Just feeling the vibration, and they know, oh, this is someone that's smiling, or someone that's frowning, or someone that's going for a handshake, just because the sense of touch is so intuitive and the haptic feedback is so intuitive. So yes, it is kind of like what you feel on your phone, but
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit more fine-tuned, and you know, with some special kind of localization and intensities and sensations that make it very, very easy and intuitive for the person wearing it to understand.
Who decided what feeling is going to get for each thing? Did you guys just come up with that and say, hey, this is what I think a person frowning should feel like? Like, how is that determined?
Yeah, that is a very, very good question. And it starts off actually with the story of our co-founder and Brian, who's part of the blind and low vision community, and his PhD work. So when he
Mm-hmm.
was getting his PhD in computer science and haptic technology, he came up with this phenomenon called haptics as a universal language, or dynamic haptic interactions. And what that means is essentially haptics as a means of communicating things. So the way that we did this is we used that foundational research of like how to communicate things with haptics. And then we actually went out and tested and developed the patterns based off that research and kind of what we were noticing from working with people. So we're firm believers of incorporating the community at literally every single step of the way of what we're building. Since day one, we've included, you know, people who are blind, low vision, deafblind, or neurodiverse into our development process. So what we would do is we had this foundation, and then we would go out and test with the community, and we would do two different types of tests. We would do intuitive and then post-training tests. So in the intuitive tests, we would make the patterns of what we thought each nonverbal cue was kind of associated with based off research and everything else, and we'd put it on people, and we just say, hey, tell us what you think this means. And that was all it was. We're saying, hey, we're communicating nonverbal communication. What do you think this means? So they put it on, and we just start playing different patterns. And they'd be like, oh, I think this is happy. I think this is sad. I think this is, you know, someone walking away. I think this is alert. And then after that, we would train them for 2 minutes, and then we'd play the patterns again. And then we'd tell them what those patterns were this time. And after 2 minutes, they were usually up into the 95% accuracy range. And then we'd also look at the data from before the training when it was just intuitive testing. And we'd see which ones were highly intuitive and which ones were really good after training and which ones were not really good after training. And then we kind of start tweaking things so that we can make them as good as possible for the intuitive training, so that it is just a very, very quick learning curve, and that
Mm-hmm.
each haptic feedback is as correlated as possible to a nonverbal cue. So it was a lot of real world testing, a lot of research, and really at the end of the day, just including people that are using going to be using the technology in every single step of the way when it came to building the wearable itself.
So
You
how did
know,
you all like decide what part of the body had the most would receive the feedback the best? Like for to wear
Yeah.
it on your wrist, would it not get more feedback for maybe behind your ear or something like that? Like what do you how did you
Yeah.
decide where to wear it?
Yeah, that's also a really good question. And we tried multiple places on the body. We tried things like a belt. We tried things like
mm,
a vest. We tried things around the neck and upper chest area. And one of the things about the wrist is really good is it responds to haptic feedback very well. There's a lot of sensitive areas on the wrist so that you can feel the sensations more clearly. Also, it is already a socially acceptable place for people to feel the sense of touch and to wear something as well. Lots of people wear, smartwatches as it is, and we want this to look like a fashionable piece of technology, like, your Apple smartwatch or something.
mhm.
So it was good for form factor. It was good for the aesthetics of, a nice piece of technology that, you would just want to wear in general. And then it had, good look. It was a good place for haptic feedback to be received as well.
The crazy part is that, I mean, this sounds so great. I just can't imagine it or picture. I have to feel it. I want to feel it. I need to
Yeah.
know what
I
this
want
feels
to
like
too. Like we
because
we need to try
yeah,
this out.
yes, because we're
Yeah.
saying this, and I'm just like, I would love to feel what it feels like when somebody is walking away or looking at me crazy or smiling or happy and all that stuff, and even the handshake thing. I mean, so if somebody was reaching their hand out to shake, it would tell me that it would.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that you guys should both be some of our beta testers. So I'm going to invite you to become beta testers. We're
I
starting
would
next.
love
Oh
to.
yes,
Yes, I would.
definitely.
Cause I'm in my head. This is so awesome. But I can't grasp it. You know what I'm saying? I just cannot. It's like something that we would have to feel but it sounds so amazing. I love it.
I know I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about like all of the networking and things that we
Yes,
do,
that's what I
like
was
the way
thinking. Yes.
Yeah.
it would solve so much of those nonverbal
The
cues that we're missing, you
the
know?
walking aways, the
Yeah.
handshaking, the facial expressions, and when you're in a conversation and their
They're
mouth is
not
saying one thing.
receiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
mouth is saying one thing, but that's not what their face is showing. And we would never know that. And they wouldn't even think that we would be able to know that they have this facial expression because they're looking at us like we're blind. And it's not like we're going to announce that we have this on. So, I mean, this can go, this,
It's
I
revolutionary, right?
know. I,
I have a question though. Like I'm wondering because you brought up the smartwatch and things like that, right? So with technology growing so much, we're wearing devices for everything almost now. Like,
right.
is it a way that is going to incorporate the things that our smartwatch does along with the vibration and the field feedback, so that way we're not having to wear multiple watches on our arm or multiple pairs of
Right.
glasses, things like that.
Totally. And that's a great question. So we've positioned the technology to be essentially plug and play into other sorts of technology ecosystems. So one of the big questions that we always get is, hey, I have the Meta Ray Bans. Can the wristband integrate with the Meta Ray Bans? And we've made the technology to be that it just can do what it does with any sort of camera or picture feed. So that if,
Mm,
Meta said, hey, we're going to partner just kind of like how they did with Be My Eyes, for instance,
right.
or Ira,
Hmm.
then we could plug and play and you could get all those nonverbal cues with the Meta Ray Bands, via the ALeye wristband. And
Right.
Oh,
so we've always wanted to be, accessible in that sense that, we don't, not everyone wants to buy five different things. So we try to position it that our software and our computer vision and explainable AI can plug and play into what anyone wants and already has. So it just takes, Meta or one of these companies to say, yeah, you can use this, our stuff, and we can partner. And you guys both brought up a really interesting point earlier that I want to circle back to, which is like the networking events and
Hmm.
those types of environments. And the very first use case that we started to design for was that exactly. It was actually for a job interview. So
Yes.
Brian was talking about, when he graduated college and he was going to career fairs and trying to, get a job. And it was sometimes challenging, going up to an employer and kind of deciding, just I guess navigating the interaction is what he would say. He's like, there are certain cues that I would love to have. So what we've built ALeye also to do is to provide complete customization for you and the user, depending on whatever environment they're in. So what I mean by that is say, hey, you're going to the networking event. You can go on your phone and you can select the nonverbal cues that are important for a networking event. Maybe it's, is someone surprised, nodding their head, going for the handshake? Those are, probably the ones you would want for the networking event. But then maybe you're going to
Yes.
a dinner party and you're like, oh, well, I want to know if, people are like smiling or,
Hmm.
shaking their head at something I say. So then you can select those nonverbal cues for that environment. And then you can also create presets. So you have like on your phone, you can press this preset. All right, I got my work preset, I got my dinner party preset, and I got my, when I'm in school preset or whatever it may be. So you can always choose and select what nonverbal cues are important to you in a given situation. And
Mm.
and
I
I
love this.
I know, right?
I love
and
this.
I want to share a because you guys are you guys are both talking about like the hand gestures. I want to share a quote, a testimony from one of our beta testers. She was from Fox Family Foundation, which is a nonprofit, blind and low vision employment nonprofit, and they do a bunch of other amazing things. And she said, as an early adopter of ALeye, I'm impressed with its quiet and unintrusive way to give the wearer information about nonverbal cues during a conversation. The hardware is light, portable, and easy to use. I was particularly intrigued by the ability to recognize when someone is extending their hand for a handshake or raising their fist for a fist bump. As a totally blind person, these nonverbal cues were previously unbeknownst to me and resulted in some awkward situations where I did not know that I needed to respond, and ALeye is changing that. And I think her testimony, it just like
Hello. Yes.
just
That
it,
is, yes.
Oh man, because I just think about those times when somebody raises their hand to like give you a high five or something, and they're stuck in
Yeah.
the air, and then it's like, okay, that's what you were
Yeah.
doing, okay.
Right. Oh my gosh. This is just such an, and I'm always just I'm a techie. So I'm a huge techie. And when I hear about stuff like this, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I have to have this because I think and this is a game changer. And I've never heard about this. Where have you been?
that's a good we're brand new. So we
Really?
really just launched about the beginning of the year. So
Oh
Oh,
wow.
I graduated college in December and transitioned.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
yes, definitely.
Thank you. It was a long road, but we
I
made it.
bet. Yes.
Yeah, so we really just started like our business and we've been working on it for, a year before that, just
Hmm.
while I was in school and while some of the other team members were in school and part-time, just trying to build out the prototypes and get the computer vision and AI and haptics all kind of worked out and figured out. But we really just started our journey as a company.
Hmm.
So it's been a focus of ours to really get into the community. Like I said, like we try to include people that are in the community at every stage of where we're at. Like that
Right.
testimony I shared from you was from a nonprofit that's in the space because we believe that, including people in the development process is what makes a great product and that, you shouldn't ever be doing things in a silo. And the best way to make a good product is getting feedback and then implementing the feedback so that the next time, the next prototype, the next iteration, they can see that progress and they can ask, okay, here, now I want this, and this to make it better. So we are definitely new and really excited just to like start getting out in the community and talking to people like you. Like I'm excited to have you guys become beta testers here soon, hopefully.
Yes. Oh, I would love that. That would be, one of our mottos here at Blind Table Talk is nothing about us without us. And so you fit when you say, you're really big on making sure we test it. We are the ones that are going to be using it. You want feedback from us that are, I mean, I'm sure it's all disabilities, but I'm just speaking for as blind. I'm actually total, but I think it makes a difference that we are the ones that are helping you guys to determine what's going to be best for us. So kudos for that.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, I mean, now that you all are new, is the product available for purchase for consumers? Is it still in testing phases? Like where are we at in offering this to the community?
It's not available for purchase, but it is available for running pilots and beta tests. So people that are interested in being part of the development process, we urge them to reach out, and I can give you guys like the sign up link that you could maybe put it in the description or
I
something.
sure
So
will.
um,
Absolutely.
yeah, so that people
Yes.
can reach out, and that's kind of where we're at right now, is just working with people, doing private pilots. Like we've worked with
Hmm.
a lot of nonprofits, Colorado Center for the Blind, a lot of the National Federation for the Blind local chapters in Colorado and Virginia, the Fox Family Foundation, some vocational rehab agencies have piloted and tested it. So that's where we're at when it comes to making the product. We want to make sure when it is commercially available, we've taken in every bit of feedback that is humanly possible. So we're being very diligent with including people, and the nothing about us without us, like you said that, and like that
Hmm.
resonated right away because it's something
Hmm.
that we talk about weekly, if not daily,
Yeah.
as a team, especially, with the engineers and everyone kind of getting and deciphering feedback. Like one of the great things we learned. This is kind of a funny story, so we'll tell it. They're
Hmm.
Colorado Center for the Blind, and we had a pilot with them that lasted a little over a month. 12 students got to use the technology, try it out, you know, try to break it, see where they could use it, all that fun stuff. And we had a bunch of people say it'd be so cool if this could detect middle finger.
Ah,
So 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 we got this overwhelming response of all the students like, what if it could detect middle finger? So we're like, well, if they want
ah.
middle finger, I guess we got to add it. So we added things like middle finger, and
Well, hey, we need to know that too. I want to
Yeah,
know if
yeah.
somebody is flipping me off.
Flipping them.
I need to know
Yes,
that. Please.
yes.
Yes.
yes. So, point being that is like we want people to give that feedback, so we also know what other nonverbal cues are important,
Right.
so
Yeah.
that we can always be adding them. And our goal is to be adding new cues every month, so that it's always up to date and the information that you want is always going to be relevant. Like, say you go, like we're talking about the presets and the customization. If you realize there's something that you wanted and that we don't currently have, then it's like, okay, well, if we get that feedback, then we can start working on it. And then it is included in the next round of updates. And that's the same that goes for the wearable itself, like the form factor and the way that you interface with it on your phone or your computer,
Mm.
the
Yeah.
battery life, for instance. Like we are like, okay, well, yeah, like people were saying, hey, can it last a little bit longer? So we made it a bigger emphasis to make sure that battery life could be better. So very, very in tune to always doing these pilots and testing and incorporating people so that all those features and all those things that make a product great are incorporated.
I just have to say this, Shad, because what you guys are doing, I mean, I don't even know if you actually realize how much of a difference you guys are making in our lives. I really think that this is, I'm telling you, yes, it's not for purchase, it's not, but you are on the right track, and this is going to blow up.
Absolutely.
This is going to blow
I'm
up.
just thinking about, just like he said, the interviews and things like that. That is so important
Yes,
within our community.
the
We're trying to bridge this gap between the employment world and the BVIs, and so it's like, and I have to say just BVIs, like we're just these
yeah.
weird people. But yeah, like we're trying to,
Yeah.
break as many barriers that will restrict us from getting these jobs out here. And just imagine, being able to shake a hand when the CEO that you may have just interviewed with stands up, and you can meet them right there. It gives a certain level of confidence,
Yes.
where you can go in and feel a lot better about, killing that interview in the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Totally, totally.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate, those kind words because, that is the vision behind HapWare is, we want this to be a tool that, is all about
Yes.
empowerment. In one
Yeah.
word, it's like empowerment and independence. Those are the things that
Yes.
we
That
want to
is,
be able to provide.
yes.
And, you brought up, the employment and jobs, and And it's why we've made an emphasis of, working with vocational rehab agencies, for instance,
Mhm.
because they're,
Mhm.
experts in employment, especially in the blind and low vision community, and just, the disabled community in whole. And one of the voc rehab agencies that we tested with actually said something very great about the technology. So I'll share it because I have the testimony in front of me. They said, I could see this being useful in a customer service or even a business setting. And they said even specifically for people that are deaf blind, especially. So they
Mhm.
really saw that, in customer service, business setting, we had people that, work remote that were using it on Zoom calls, so absolutely, like the employment area is like where we want that empowerment to be, because that's what it comes down to is, getting people the tools so that you can go kick ass in that job interview,
Yes,
or working with the
absolutely.
client, or doing a sales pitch, or just a team meeting in general. Absolutely.
I just want to thank you so much for coming to the table, and we definitely are here to support you. If you need our assistance in any way, we're here for you. Just let us know how we can support you. All right. Well, listeners, you are, officially have heard. I mean, this is a brand new thing, and I don't know. I feel kind of privileged to have
Yes,
today.
blind table talk.
Yes, because when this blows up, we can say, "Hey, we had them on Blind Table Talk," right?
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
yes, thank you
Uh-huh.
again, Jack. And listeners, until next time, we will see you at the table.
Thank you. Thank you.
Blind table talk, yeah.
All right, y'all. So I hope that y'all enjoyed that information. That ALeye device, it is a game changer, y'all. And
That's gonna be hard right
it
there.
isn't it?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
cannot
Okay.
wait.
Yeah,
So
let's see what that do.
yeah, so stay tuned for that. Be on the lookout. Of course, we will have the links for direct
Y'all know
contact
we're gonna put
in
it
the
up there for y'all.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Check that out for sure.
thank you all again so much for listening and for your support and all that you do for us, because we would not be us without you, and nothing about us without us. So thank you
Y'all
all
know
so
it.
much.
Here at the table, baby. Hey, chime in, y'all. Let us know, text us.
Oh, and I forgot to give the number. So let's give the number. If you want to leave
Yeah.
us a voicemail, send us a text message. However, it is
Yeah, yeah.
800-321-6456. So, if you don't feel like sending an email, which you can, info@blindtabletalk.com.
Y'all
Either
know
way,
what it is. Chime
just,
in, man.
yes.
Real talk. Until next time, y'all. Be blessed.